So I was looking again through what science is available right now in terms of studies of consciousness, and it's the same as it has been 10 years ago almost. There isn't really a lot more information. And it's basically the same headlines that God is possible and all this other stuff. That's about all that it's saying. And if you guys have more interesting articles, it should be at the top of the search engine results on the top search engines on the World Wide Net, because they are not. So we're not finding them. So one thing I would like to say is, if you look at the body and you look at the studies of the body, anatomy, medicine, and everything else, what it fails to really talk about is the light that is streaming through the cells, that is being fired through the brain and nervous system. That is a network of encoded information that, in fact, is what is running the autonomic, the brain, the nervous system. So if you study that, if you look at that and take photos of it more diligently and study its effect on the body, and some have done studies already about what it does in sleep and REM and all of this kind of stuff, but it needs to be quantified better. And there's underground studies about NDEs, about this, that, and the other. Some people are like afraid to publish or whatever because they think that they'll be, the rest of the community will think you're like way out there, right? And, you have to publish it or people aren't going to know what you've seen, what you know. And then it ends up in horror movies, and we don't really get your story about the things that you've discovered, that you've seen, that are written, that videos, that you have all this stuff that you sit crying that you can't tell anybody, and you're underground. And then we have these stupid horror movies that come out that don't even depict correctly what your research has shown that you did by yourself on a weekend. And you don't want to lose your good name or whoever you are in the community. And I know you people exist and are out there. So I would encourage you to get together or to publish somehow, even under a pseudonym, like a fake name, your research, And if you get a real following of people who find you interesting, you'd always come out and say, hey, I'm this famous or semi-famous doctor or scientist who has published this work under this pseudonym. Whatever you got to lose under a pseudonym, you could publish it. And I would do so because I know that there's stuff sitting there shoved in files, folders, and filing cabinets that nobody's seen, or that clandestine conversations by some of these scientists that they're thinking, we can't say this, or they're going to think we're nuts or intimidate us or whatever. It's not necessarily true. You have a right to share some of your information, and it's what we're waiting for, because largely God and the body have not been united and married as actually occupying the same space. So if you study blue matrix energetics, energy science, it has decoded and has deciphered this whole thing. And I would encourage doctors and scientists to look at it as well, because it has answers that may also help you when you are photographing, experiencing phenomenon, and wondering what the hell is going on. It may help you to use your scientific information plus information about consciousness that I put together to solve some of your own research and some of your own phenomenon experiences. And that we need to have more of, because the implications of having that available are huge for improvements in medicine, in science, in astronomy, in space travel as well, and in the treatment of disease, and many, many other applications. So don't be afraid, because it's still very conservative out there as to what you can find on the internet and the news about it. Otherwise, you find way out stuff there that you can clone heart cells for skin, and I'm not really finding that that's been helpful to me. So maybe your stories aren't that outrageous in terms of some of the things that you've experienced, and I would encourage you to share them more with the public. So we'll see. Uh, And that's really about it, because don't forget, where physics talks about hyperspace trips, that is something that where they get lost, because where's the body? It's here, right? And in hyperspace, um, the body travels with it very, very quickly in milliseconds and seconds, as I've said before. So there are blips where we reappear and disappear all over the place if we are healthy individuals and go about our day. So where is it? It goes with it, goes with the consciousness. So um, it is a biological organism that has genetic sequences that unfold very, very quickly, that close up a space-time segment where you disappear and you reappear so fast that you can barely see it, that people miss it, and it happens around them all the time. And we're not seeing it because it's too fast. That's because hyperspace is fast. That's why it's called hyper. And so people say, well, it's not happening. You can't disappear. But yet they're running for the car. They disappear for a second. They're at their car, and they just did it. And they don't even know they did it in their big cortex, because there isn't an archive of information that tells them this. Expect to disappear when you're running for the car and to reappear so quickly that you will not even be able to record it in your cortex, because it processes space-time much more slowly and cannot handle the information in terms of its calibration of hyperspace capability, which it is lousy, this part of the brain. Yet it rolls it up, brings it back, and it is like, okay, I'm here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was too fast for me to really understand in this big brain what happened to me, but I'm here, so it's okay. It's really a funny brain, this big, huge thing. So remember, its perception is looking at your finger in front of you. Okay? That's its level of awareness. The midbrain is being aware of the space immediately around you here. And the cerebellum is the whole room. And if you use your camera eye and take a picture, it'll bring back a picture of the whole house psychically. Okay? Or anywhere that you remote view. All the way to a photo of a faraway place. That's our God, the Horus eye, the camera eye that we teach about in Stargate of Success, in Blue Matrix Energetics live events. Yes, those again. So it's really fascinating. When I finally see you people, I will be like, touch me. It's real. They're finally here, and I'm teaching them. Fantastic. Anyway, in the meantime, and doctors and scientists are welcome to attend also. I'd love to see that. So we'll have a great day. And what I would say is, it happens much too fast for the big cerebral cortex to see or to be able to map correctly reappearing and disappearing, even though it's done it. And it's folded up and unfolded so quickly. Oh, it's here. And it's like barely perceptible. Okay, and it happens to everyone who is healthy, who is on the go. Everyone, always. So this part of the brain, when it happens, what it does in the midbrain is it produces momentary unconsciousness of it happening, which kind of blocks it from being mapped in the cortex. And the cerebellum is on all the time about doing it. And it's like, yeah, this is how the brain works. Of course, I'm reappearing and disappearing, running to the car for about 1 or half a second. Big deal, right? But I have to tell this fathead brain this? Okay. Well, it doesn't really have the science to understand what the fuck I'm doing to this body. So unless the person sits and studies what hyperspace is and what's possible, the being's going to be like some freak having a religious or new age experience and not really knowing what the hell's going on. And I'm going to have a fanatic on my hands as myself in this big brain. So I'm not going to tell it anything. That's how the God runs the consciousness at the back here, the cerebellum. So you educate yourself. It's scary. So we have partial information. Wow, I read this new age book about the potential of possibly teleporting myself across the block, but yet I have to have acceptance that this is actually possible to happen for me. And I'm not really sure how, because I don't have any science to understand it. Yeah, that's kind of how where most of the big baby cortex fatheads walking around dolls, that's how humanity is. That's why you have to study information that allows you to be able to accept it. I teach blue matrix energetics. It's my video. If someone teaches something else, do your own video about it to tell the public that you too have this information. Otherwise, right now it's all about me from Blue Matrix. And I'm saying that because some people have tagged onto it that have teach other things and said, yeah, but you know, I teach this, what she said, and yada, yada, yada. And they say, oh, yeah, this guy said this about this. And they lose me. And then I'm like, yeah, It isn't Blue Matrix. I have no responsibility for what other people teach you. I know what I teach. So make sure that if you get books or go to other seminars or do other things, that you are getting information that you want that is specific to your question or to your query, and don't sort of mix and match us all together, because we're different people who present different information, and then you have the correct thing. So when we have challenges with our well-being, sometimes to heal from stress or whatever's happened to us, we also have the capability, just like running for the car, to blip in and out of hyperspace and to be put back into a quantum state where we are well very quickly. It is very important to extraterrestrials not to entangle us with other people while this is happening, to show them, because then what you're doing is creating Siamese twins that are like cells jammed and grinding together. Yes, really, where they start to grow nerves together in an unhealthy way, where someone's got a numb arm and someone's got a lung grown from another person's nerves, and they smoke and they don't. So the one that doesn't smoke has a healthy lung, and the other one, well, we're cleaning it. You know, it's a young person. We don't want them to get pneumonia. They're under stress. And you're creating this. So extraterrestrials, and this scares people, especially people in the heart cortex who don't know about hyperspace. If they disappear and reappear, and they're, oh my God, I can't handle it. Oh my God. And then everybody's worried, oh, if you tell those people anything, they're going to go, oh my God. And they're going to freak out. And they're going to be totally scared. And you know what? No, it isn't like that. You sit in school, you study information, you understand. They're the same people. Okay, they're not living in the loony bin. They are people in society, and they're capable of understanding information. They're also capable of, when I say don't entangle people in higher hyperspace healing, because you are basically combining lungs and nerves and things amongst different people together that are not supposed to be sympathetically wired that way. No, just don't fly over and do it. When we say no, it's what I said to the ETs, regardless of what quantum state our bodies are in, because if we're collecting stem biotic from me for my own healing, I am not going to be somebody else's entanglement experiment by an extraterrestrial who doesn't know what they're doing. So it's important to understand how hyperspace works. And for the ETs who aren't respecting and don't even understand how hyperspace works in healing from meiotic Grand Council of Andromedan people, get them out of the skies, because they are not flying right. Okay, they're creating more harm and more of a bad reputation for you than any kind of help. And it's been going on for far too long. So as usual, we have our extraterrestrial blit because of the attention-seeking behavior of these other ETs that think they're saving humanity, and yet they don't know what they're doing. So don't trust extraterrestrials unequivocally, because some are stupid and some are intelligent. The Andromedans are thousands of years old. They're highly intelligent beings. The Greys are cloned, sometimes cloned very quickly, trained very quickly, brought here to work for them. They don't know. Don't trust them, okay? Do not trust them. They are new. They are trained by the Andromedans. Do not trust them. They don't have the knowledge sometimes the Andromedans know. They're very basic workers that do basic menial tasks for the Andromedan people. They are not wise people to communicate with Om in a New Age seance. They are just very basic rudimentary workers. So be streetwise about ETs as well, and learn about hyperspace.